Hi, team. Welcome to the IMDb box office kind of performance analysis. We're just going to jump right in. We are going to work backwards in a sense here. I'm doing that because I want you to focus less on what the tool can do in terms of visualization build, and I want you to think more about once it's built, how can I make sure it looks nice, clean, professional? And we're going to utilize a real company's kind of brand standards to do that. And we're going to apply a lot of what we've kind of already talked about in class. And so I just want to jump in and have you kind of think through those pieces. In terms of the kind of work situation, so you're going to be hired as the sort of data visualization specialist for the analytics and insights department. The first assignment is the most important, obviously, because it's the only one that you have, but it's the fact that your junior analyst on your team built a functional dashboard, but it doesn't have any of the branding or the professionalism that we want for something that's going to be kind of public facing. Your manager made it clear, like the analysis is solid, but the dashboard just really needs some TLC, right? It needs you to apply the IMDb brand. And we need you to transform it into something that we can actually go through and leverage so that a lot of people can explore it. So this is kind of your opportunity to demonstrate that you not only understand the data visualization principles, but also the importance of brand design, brand standards, design thinking, and the user experience. It's a kind of a different part of your brain than kind of the building piece. The leadership team kind of has talked about all these various groups that can leverage it. So it's going to be a very diverse audience, and you want to make it as user-friendly as possible. We want to make sure we're not just a database as IMDb, but we're actually thinking about the user and going beyond that. And so the big problem, and maybe let's actually go through and go to the required materials. So on D2L, you should see both a link and a Tableau workbook file. So if I bring over D2L, you'll have this, and then as well as the other, the actual assignment file. So I would go ahead and download this. Note, I have the full version. It's got 6 million observations. It just is, honestly, it slows everything down. So we're actually working with a subset of the data. And then I would go through and just make sure you have this brand standard website up. I would go ahead and download the design toolkit as well. So you're going to have two things that go through. And I'm not going to make you kind of watch these. I would go into your downloads folder and move this if you are someone that kind of moves things. And then make sure that you either right click, and you should be able to extract all and then extract them all. If not, go in and pull all these objects out and how you're going to kind of and place them where you're going to want to use them. I already kind of have done that, and I'm going to open up the Tableau file. So I'm not going to wait for you to have to download it. And so to open the file, you want to open up Tableau first, and then you're going to go to File, Open, and then find where that file is. Right, so I found it. I'm going to open it. This may think a little bit, and then I would go ahead and kind of rename this, maybe something along the lines of what the actual assignment is. So if I go here, I may take this, copy, go down. Then I'll do File, I'm going to do Save As, and then I'll title it something like this. That way it's a little bit cleaner, and that's what it'll kind of save as. You can use a different title if you want, but you shouldn't have to. All right, so once you get this open, you should be able to see the visuals. Again, very, very simple so far, and this video is not going to be long because I want you to actually spend time. I want you to open up the actual brand toolkit. It should open to maybe this first page, and it's IMDb's brand, right? I need you to read through it, spend the time talking through it. It talks through the logo, the different logos that you can kind of use. We're going to just do IMDb, so don't worry about IMDb Pro. So just focus on that. It talks about ways not to use it. Don't combine it with text, anything of that kind of nature. We're not going to do co-branding. But then the other piece will be these fonts will be very important. So it has the code here. It also has the various codes here that will be important. And then some accent palettes if you are going to use multiple colors. I'll let you kind of decide. And then the typeface. So they have a bunch of different typefaces where it has like Interstate Ultra Black, Interstate Regular, Interstate Condensed, Interstate Compressed. For all secondary applications, it says use the Roboto piece. But what I want you to do is you're going to basically take this. I'm going to actually open up that folder just one more time. Let's go to my downloads folder because we'll need it here in just a bit. Any of the logos you should see would be IMDb. The PNGs is probably going to be used, but it has a bunch of these versions. You should also be able to change the view of these. Again, Mac and PC maybe a little bit different, so you can kind of see the picture instead, which is nice. So you're going to end up using these logos, at least one of them. If not more. And so what your simple task is go in and make this match the brand standards. All right, so we have this up. Let's bring back up the assignment. And so you can see no consistent branding, poor basic color choices, inconsistent typography, cluttered, right? If I go and I split screen this a little bit, I don't know why it's putting it over there. Let's do this. You can see, right? It's not great. It's unprofessional, and so your job is to basically apply the brand standards, make it look nice, make it look clean as you can. Now we're going to run into a small issue. One of the issues being this font doesn't actually exist in Tableau Public. If we had Tableau Desktop, we could actually download this font and use it. Same thing with Roboto. So I'm going to be a little bit more lenient on the font type as long as you're consistent. So I'm going to let you select. You may honestly, I may search for one that's similar. So I did a quick search here. So fonts available are similar to Interstate. It's a sans serif inspired by U.S. highway signs, which is interesting, would be Benton Sans and Arial. I would then, since Benton Sans is very, very close, let's just go in. And what I mean would be if we're going to use consistent font, I would go into here. Let's make sure and see if it has it. I'm going to go, let's see, Benton Sans. So yeah, let's use that as their kind of traditional font as you kind of go through, and we'll do apply. If you like the semi or the Benton Sans, do that, do apply. I think that is fine. We'll do apply. Note that their font is all going to be, instead of here, what we're going to do is we're going to want to use more colors. So in the brand standards, we'll go in. If you look at their font type, so it'd be 22, 22, 22. So let's use those two. So this would be 22, 22, 22, and you do OK, apply. All right. Then that font will be in there and be relatively consistent throughout, which should be nice. You're going to do that throughout. So all of that could go through. Your job is to redesign it, make it professional. You have these pieces. In terms of how you'll be evaluated, complete the steps that I'll show you here a few really quickly. Then this is going to be a bonus that I kind of talked about. Will be create an explanatory dashboard that only uses visuals, only visuals provided in the file. I went ahead and tweaked it. So you can use one provided in the file, or you can create your own, and then make sure the brand standards are in here. So I'm going to actually move the formatting here a little bit. Link this to the exploratory dashboard. So you have those kind of pieces. So what I'm going to make sure and grade on are the brand standards, so official colors, fonts, framings, demonstrate visual design, make sure that kind of the visual hierarchy there, keep your data integrity. It already kind of tells a clear story if you're going to use that. The secondary one will be that bonus dashboard. It should be linked via a button. And so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just small things that I would kind of expect, and then I'm going to leave it to you. Now, I don't want to show you too much. The first thing I may do though is let's change our sizing to be automatic. If it doesn't convert well to your Tableau public, we can modify it. But like little things that you should know for sure, go in, get rid of all these grid lines. Um, I would probably do either like probably a black background, and then maybe you end up using a white font. You could use this gray font. I wouldn't use a ton of this blue, or maybe not a primary color. And then maybe gold or something for highlighting things. Like this blue right here shouldn't exist. I would modify the colors here so it kind of makes more sense. Even things here. So this is a show hide text button. So if you do the show, you'll notice this looks terrible. The background isn't a nice color. This isn't really formatted correctly. It doesn't really look great. I don't care if the links are working. That's beyond us for now. But if you want to do things where you can go to like the modify on kind of the background, you can actually go in and change the background this way, I believe. If I'm clicked in the right place, let me kind of click off. I don't know, so I wasn't clicked in it, so I'm going to click back in it, and then maybe I'll do black just to see it. Okay, I'm going to undo, maybe I'll do white, but something like that. So everything should be brand standard. This font should be the same type. This button should not be blue, right? If I click on it, I should be able to do right click, edit button, and then change the background, right? And I wouldn't just do that piece, I would do there. You can use the eyedropper once you get this thing set, and use it so it matches the exact one, and do okay. Kind of those pieces. Same thing, I'm kind of going through. This light gray, I would probably modify it. So I would do more colors. If I want it to be gray, I'm going to use, let's see, 150, 150, 150. So in this case, it would be 150, tab, 150, tab, 150. You can see the kind of color will change. Do okay. On that piece, do apply, do okay. So things like that. I would check all the font. I'm going to control click, hide, edit. The bar graph is already, I mean, it looks good. I may label this and get rid of this axis. You will notice that this piece here, this actually has a caption in it. It took me a long time to figure out, like, where is this coming from? If you like the caption, that's fine. You could keep it. I think that you could change these titles to be a little bit more, I don't know, useful in that kind of sense. But if you wanted to, you could right click here. I would do little things like you can add components to this. Like I may add like a very basic trend line just to kind of see that piece. I wouldn't mess with any of the kind of filters here. But like I would want to maybe format this. So maybe I would do, so you don't have to do this, but here's what I could show you. You could do format. I would go through, I would turn off all my grid lines, make sure they're actually all off. You can modify your font a little bit more consistently by going to sheet. And then whatever the font was that we used earlier, I believe that it was Bento. I would go in, I would find that, I would do Bento Sans Book. I would honestly just copy this, and then sometimes it'll update everything, but sometimes it doesn't, so I'll just paste it, and then I'll tab. Same thing here, paste, tab, and then it updates kind of everything. You might have to do that a little bit, but then everything here becomes consistent. I could do something where I do a fill, and then I do the sheet, and I think, okay, maybe I want a black sheet, and then maybe I like the idea of, in terms of color, I could do more colors, and it's that standard blue, but then I would actually go in, I want maybe my gold to be my dots. So this would be what? 245, 197, 24. So 245, 197, did I say 25? When I 24, I was one off, 24. I do okay, and then the dots here. Now you may have to be careful and right click and format your trend line. I would probably also, let's see, I'm gonna try, this one's hard, I probably shouldn't have done it white initially. Right click, I will do format, And then my trend line would be maybe dashed. And then now that custom color kind of shows up there. So that may make more sense. I may then right click, I'll do edit access. I actually don't want edit. I want, again, I'll live in that kind of format, which you'll see it actually is in the same kind of places. But I could do the same thing where, do I want any shading on the back of that? And you'll kind of see it. If you think that makes sense, I'm going to undo. I may do the font and then I'll change the color. And this one, I would probably go with maybe it looks like it's close to white. So it's 0, say 245, 245, 245. So I'll go in here, I'll do more colors just to, again, almost guarantee it, 245, 245, 245, 245, and then we do okay, and it's guaranteed to kind of match it, which is not what I want. I want just the numbers. The font, right here. And then again, more colors because I didn't get it right the first time. 245, 245, 245, do okay. Something like that. Same thing where it has the tick marks. I wish that color would just be automatic on that piece. You have the numbers that also, I'm trying to think, in the pane, I would want the font, and then I'll do white. Let's make sure. I want this right here. I want the axis. I don't want any shading. Ticks and numbers. Alignment is not what I want. Let's see, I'll do here. I'll do alignment, the font. Let's make it white. I'll go off. And that's just the title, so I've got to be careful here. Oh, there they go. There's the ticks. But that's, again, those the little piece. I want the actual font on it. Maybe it's just purely the font that I'm missing. Duh. Right click. Again, I'll go back into here and do that piece. My brain's moving kind of slow. Then if you go back, it looks a little bit cleaner. I forgot to show you. So the last piece would be if I wanted to see that caption, you can go to worksheet. And you see caption. This is a little way like you can take notes. Sometimes it automatically does it for you. If you want to keep it, you can, but I probably wouldn't, since if we use descriptive titles. I would also bring in the logo, or you're required to bring in the logo. So one of them that we kind of brought up here, it's up to you. Again, how you bring that in, hopefully you remember this, but you go to dashboard, I'd probably do floating, and then you could bring in an image, right? You would just have to go and find it. Where you put it, it's up to you. I would probably put it somewhere in the top right, something like that. But once you drop it, you can do insert image. I don't really want to link to an image. You could add the IMDb. Like what I would do is, let's go ahead. Let's do choose. I'll go to downloads, like downloads. I'll go to the toolkit, IMDb, IMDb PG. I want to view these as the extra large icons. So which one do I want? Let's use maybe this one. I'll do open. All right, but then I could also go and get the IMDb website. All right, so I'm searching over on this piece, right? Where I just take imdb.com, right, and then I paste it. I do apply. Then I do okay. Again, my computer's moving a little bit slow on this piece. And so then when you click it, it will open up the IMDb website. And so your job is to clean the rest of this up, use kind of that consistent brand, consistent color. If you want bonus, I want you to either take one of these four, or you could create your own. I wouldn't spend a crazy amount of kind of time on it. You can kind of see the variables that it has. If you go onto a sheet, you can again see my computer is struggling. Go to the data tab and kind of see all these things. I wouldn't spend a terrible amount of time on it. I'll put the toolkit as well on there that kind of talks through these variables. It's like a Tableau starter kit and kind of where it's from. But you'll need to build one and link it to this via a button, right? And so if I pull up the assignment, That is bonus. If you don't want to do it, that's perfectly fine. Uh, but this is what I'll be kind of grading on. So it looks clear, adheres to the standards, everything's kind of consistent. The bonus is this professionally created explanatory. Remember, no filters, there should be no actions, there can be one, maybe two visuals, and that's it. Then when you save it, make sure you save it to Tableau Public. I want to see this dashboard first, and so make sure you're looking at it and saving it that way. So like you're actually going through and so I see this first. If there is a bonus, please put a button either somewhere where it's easy for me to see or not miss. So do the bottom right is an easy one. You could also do like top left. You would bring in a button. I may like bring in tiled. I would do sort of a navigation. Maybe I bring it. I don't know why this thing is, my computer's so slow. Here where you kind of put it and make sure it's a clear button like click, or you could have an image, but make sure it's not missed on that piece. So I'll be looking for this to be cleaned up. The A logo, you pick whichever one you want. And then I want the link on here to IMDb, no grid lines, consistent. You can see here, even within this, if I click on the drop down, again, my apologies for this computer. Oops. I want to do the drop down. I could do show so you kind of see all the pieces in it. So make sure, again, kind of format. This yellow should match the IMDb yellow if you stick with that color. So little things like that that you may need to kind of be careful with. You may see, or you may want to use like the layout control. So then you can actually see different hierarchies. It makes it maybe sometimes a little bit easier to like find things and click on it. That would be kind of useful. But otherwise, I want you to kind of have fun with it, make it unique, make it your own. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. So thank you. And again, I'll add in a resource here that talks about the variables within it as